SJSU students marched around campus with demands for the university. The coverage of their rally coming up.
How are candidates handling their campaign in the aftermath of the Omar Torres resignation? The answer's up next.
Consumers are feeling the increase in egg prices. How is this affecting the local economy? Stay tuned to find out.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Hello and welcome to Update News. I'm Isabella Dandoy.
And I'm Nick Austin. A display of solidarity occurred at San Jose State University on Tuesday as students rallied against the presence of ICE agents in the community. They stated 3 demands during the protest. Reporter Mohammed Najimi has more on the story.
The protesters marched between the Student Union and the Cesar Chavez Monument, shouting their support for immigrants in the U.S.
Immigrants are welcome here! Immigrants are welcome here!
The I chapter of Alpha Phi Sigma, MEDCHA of SJSU, and Students for a Democratic Society worked together to organize the protest. The demands they stated are SJSU becomes the sanctuary campus, give the undocumented Spartan Center the $300,000 they were promised, and have clear communication from the administration about any protocols that may be established to protect students if ICE agents visit SJSU. Protest attendees gave their thoughts on the recent ICE raids while also showing their support.
This is not a matter of just trying to get rid of illegal criminals. Rather, this is more so the persecution and targeting of brown and black folks in America.
Stop deporting hardworking immigrants. Legalize them now. Stop separating families. Stop deporting our kids.
District 5 Councilmember Peter Ortiz attended the event to introduce a resolution to ensure city staff does not collaborate with ICE in any way. This will stop city staff from being able to ask immigrants for their documentation status. Montserrat Arevalo, the protest organizer, shared a statement for the lawmakers in regards to ICE.
They need to support our community, the people that are paying taxes, the people that are providing for food on the table, anything of our basic needs. People that are here and showing up.
The protesters were heard loud and clear, gaining more students to join the movement as it went along.
People see you, and we're trying, and we will advocate till things change because they have to change. It is not a matter of whether they will, they have to.
The march ended right here in front of the San Jose State Victory Salute statue lawn. The protest gave them a sense of pride. In San Jose, Mohammed Najimi, Update News.
With recent major plane accidents happening, there has been a rise in coverage of plane accidents. But what does this mean for the safety of our students that have to fly? Reporter Abel Tariku has a story.
Plane accidents have been a talking point recently due to what seems like an increase in plane crashes. I spoke with San Jose State's aviation program to get their word on airplane safety.
There are so many systems and just so much training and expectations that have to be met.
In 2025 compared to 2024, there has actually been a decrease in plane accidents according to the National Transportation Safety Board. There have been 109 total plane accidents worldwide in 2025 so far. There were 173 plane accidents in 2024 in the same time frame of 2 months. Although what might be worrying some is a significant increase in deaths this year. There have been 87 deaths associated with plane accidents compared to the 42 deaths last year in the same time frame. The most notable incident happened on January 27 in Washington, D.C., when an American Airlines commercial plane and a Black Hawk helicopter collided midair, taking the lives of 67 people. This was the first major fatal accident involving a United States airline since 2009.
I mean, people do have the fear, especially with the plane crashes, with the death tolls.
These accidents are considered extremely rare. Despite recent headlines, flying is still considered the safest form of travel in the U.S.
We don't really have an increase in close calls and incidents like that. What we have is a vastly increased ability to hear about them and get them in the press.
In San Jose, Abel Tariku, Update News.
Following the resignation of Omar Torres, residents and councilmember candidates alike were shocked when the details behind it were revealed. The effects still linger in the community. Reporter Gabriel Evans has the story.
Last year, what started off as an anonymous allegation later evolved into Torres being charged with 3 counts of sexual assault of a minor, after disturbing evidence came to light. The day of his arrest also marked his official resignation from office as District 3 council member. The scandal shocked the community and officials alike.
Everybody was shocked, but I mean, there's also people who weren't sad to see him go. People, residents of D3, because he wasn't a very responsive city council member.
Since the arrest, some residents have expressed a lack of trust in their local government. Councilmember candidates running for the position discussed topics of mistrust following the scandal.
I talk to many voters every day, and folks are feeling betrayed. They're feeling like they've been let down by their elected government. They feel like they cannot trust that our council members are going to work with their best interests at heart.
Definitely impacted trust significantly. When you look at how local government's been responding to a number of incidents, local trust has already been eroded in many different ways.
As for the future of the upcoming election, other candidates believe that the fall of Omar Torres won't affect the campaign.
So I think the candidates all have some type of position on it. Personally, it's not going to affect my campaign. I'm still running to win.
The shocking scandal has left the community with differing positions on the future candidates hoping to take its place. Update News will continue to bring you updates on the campaigns as Election Day gets closer. In San Jose, Gabriel Evans, Update News.
Want to take a trip across the globe? Head across the world in our reporter Sophie Cipriano's segment, Spinning Around the Sphere, where she will inform you about the major headlines across the globe.
Thanks, Isabella. Starting this week off, Chile declared a state of emergency on Tuesday after most of the country experienced an electrical blackout. This blackout affected 14 of the 16 regions in Chile and occurred after disruption to a high-voltage transmission line that carried power from the Atacama Desert to the country's capital, Santiago. The President Gabriel Boric implemented a curfew for citizens starting at 10 p.m. Tuesday until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. A tragic bus accident in Thailand has left 18 people dead and 31 injured. Wednesday morning, a chartered bus that was transporting people from the northern Thailand to the Rayong province crashed in the Prachinburi province. This bus was transporting people for a municipal study tour. The Department of Land of Transportation is collaborating with police to investigate the accident. This concludes Spinning Around the Sphere with Sophie. Tune in next week for the latest headlines.
Recently, eggs have been harder to find in stores than on Easter Day. A surge in prices and a decrease in the availability of eggs are leaving shoppers worried. Our reporter Angela Nguyen has more on the story.
SJSU student and EBT user Jasmine Camillos has concerns about egg prices.
Once I go shopping and you see the prices, it kind of hits whoa, this is getting too pricey.
Rios believes her concerns are shared among other students who rely on EBT to help pay for grocery bills.
Right now, I only have one job. Kind of oh, do I have to pick up another job, or do I have to pick up a job that's that pays more?
Students aren't the only people who are feeling the increase in prices and demands. Matthew Hale, owner of Chalk Cookies, relies on eggs to make baked goods.
We want to keep making cookies, and we want to open up new locations, so we'll just have to eat that extra cost.
Hale says he may raise his prices if egg prices continue to rise. Restaurants like The Table that specialize in brunch food believe that eggs aren't the main concern.
Even though the egg has gone up so much, it's still not as expensive as the other proteins have really gone up.
Stump believes for restaurants like his, buying beef and other red meat is more concerning than eggs. Jamie Kabuta, an SJSU science and nutrition professor, suggests a solution for students who depend on eggs for protein.
There's lots of plant-based sources, so going towards beans. Chickpeas are a great alternative. Beans, lentils, can still get our protein in.
Kabuta believes egg substitutes can be cost-effective for students.
With steep prices and higher demands, buying a carton of fair-priced eggs may prove to be a challenge. In San Jose, Angela Nguyen, Update News.
Hey Isabella, how have the egg prices impacted you?
I've been switching up my breakfast to avoid buying eggs. Let's see what the Spartans are cooking up instead.
I just have a bowl of cereal with bananas chopped up inside, or a protein bar, or just anything with a lot of protein.
So due to the egg shortage, I am doing a lot more Greek yogurt with berries, or I do a protein shake just to get a little bit of protein in for breakfast.
I usually go for a whey protein for my breakfast.
I'm making toast with cream cheese and green tea every morning.
I've honestly been drinking protein shakes for breakfast. So
because there's an egg shortage, okay, that's one less thing to eat for breakfast, so I'll eat fruit instead or go without breakfast.
We'll have more in just a moment.
AI has the potential to reshape education as we know it. Find out how in just a moment.
A new development in computer technology could make waves around the world. Stay tuned to find out how.
We know you've been enjoying that sun, but it looks like there's rain ahead. Make sure to stick around for your weather coming up next.
A fire near the California coast has shaken up the local community. Reporter Vincent Rupena went to find out more.
People in Monterey County are upset and concerned after the fire and additional flare-up at a Moss Landing energy storage facility. Many in the community are still feeling its effects over a month after the original fire.
A lithium-ion battery fire began at the Vistra Moss Landing energy storage facility on January 16th. The fire released a plume of smoke into the sky as it burned on for days.
It felt unreal to see that power plant burning down, to see all that fire. It felt like a video game almost.
David Moreno was in his house, less than 10 minutes away from the Vistra energy facility, when the fire ignited. When county officials issued the evacuation notice, Moreno and his family had nowhere else to go.
So it's kind of like we just have to deal with it or wear a mask. I feel kind of a little hopeless in this situation right now.
More people affected by the fires decided to attend a County of Monterey Board of Supervisors meeting on February 25th. Nancy Russell talked about the pollution testing being conducted by the county.
One of the things that we're concerned about in Moss Landing is that we have not been tested. The testing that's happened has been everywhere else, it seems, but not in our area.
With many people focusing on their own communities, one expert questions what groups of people are being ignored.
No one in any leadership position has said, we need to do something about farm worker exposures when we have a battery fire. No one. Because there's nobody out there to defend farm workers.
The process of disabling the remaining batteries located in the facility began on February 22nd. The first stage is estimated to take 2 weeks. Until all the remaining batteries are disconnected, the threat of reignition persists. In Moss Landing, Vincent Rapena, Update News.
The California State University system has recently adopted a new AI initiative that will make tools and training available to over 460,000 students. This decision was made by the AI Workforce Acceleration Board, headed by the Office of Governor Newsom and leading tech companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and OpenAI. I went out to learn more about its impact on the San Jose State learning community.
According to the CSU's press release, the AI initiative will give students free access to AI tools. It is intended to improve learning efficiency and promote cross-departmental collaboration, but some believe that its impact will lead to detrimental effects.
It's really disappointing to know that the school is prioritizing something that is consequently just making their students rely on a machine rather than using their own brain, especially when we put so much emphasis on plagiarism.
But I also get worried because I know a lot of students who I think use AI in a way that doesn't let them learn.
The CSU staff are looking to incorporate AI resources into their curriculum. Dr. Ryan Skinnell isn't easy about the change, but hopes to discover new methods that will benefit his students.
A big part of our task in the next couple of years is to do some really careful thinking about what is it the machine does well and how do we let the machine do it.
With this initiative, the CSU system aims to address the evolving academic and professional needs of students. According to a CSU spokesperson, it's critical for CSU students to gain experience with emerging AI technologies so they are best prepared to enter the workforce. We recognize that this will also require carefully balancing AI-driven innovation with ethical considerations and human-centered learning approaches. Many are aware that AI innovation comes with its own set of challenges. Some fear being replaced by AI, but others view this as a learning opportunity.
I think that the AI revolution is an invitation for us.
But learn your strengths outside of that. Learn the human side of your writing, of your art, right? You can always do better than an AI model can.
Despite hearing differing opinions, the CSU's commitment to AI may open the door to new possibilities and marks a new era for education.
Microsoft has developed its own quantum computing chip that is taking a new approach to achieving the challenging problem of stabilizing the inner workings of the chip. Quantum computing allows for the principles of quantum mechanics to be leveraged to solve complex equations much faster than a normal computer. I have more in the story. Companies like IBM and Google have developed and used quantum computers and quantum computing chips, but with little sustained success. However, Microsoft is looking to change that. Unlike the computing chips in classical computers, like this one here, quantum computing chips, or qubits, are smaller,
more advanced, and harder to control. Microsoft is using a new state of matter at the quantum level that could help stabilize these qubits. This new state of matter is called the Majorana particle, and according to Microsoft, it allows the qubits to achieve full stabilization, better known as quantum entanglement.
And this computation actually allow us, just the architecture allow it to be less susceptible to the noise that is around that.
A single quantum computing chip could outperform all the world's current computers operating in unison. As Microsoft continues to pursue its own quantum computing chip, this venture is leaving some wondering if this is the best use of the company's resources.
And I know that there are probably people who really study this and like, the new features if it has any, and that's fine for them. But as a normal person like me, it's okay. But even if we don't have it, I'm still okay with not having it.
Although the product is still unknown, Professor Chris Pollitt gave some predictions on the possibilities of the Majorana 1 chip.
It could allow for things where we could do simulations of quantum mechanical processes like protein folding or whatever might let you do better drug discovery or these kind of things.
While the practical use of quantum computers is still years away, Microsoft and their Majorana 1 chip have the opportunity to speed up the task of achieving quantum entanglement and make quantum computing much more efficient and feasible.
Exploring life on other planets is constantly evolving, including the machinery used to do it. One club here at San Jose State University continues to compete to be more advanced. Our reporter Madison Wilbur is live with more.
Thanks, Isabella. The campus robotics team is back at it again, but this time building a rover that is going to have to dig into the ground for their next competition. The project is just beginning, and I went to take a look.
Meet Allie, the latest rover being built by the SJSU robotics team. As you can see, she is still in her developing stages. For some members of the team, building the rover can feel like raising a child and watching them take their very first steps.
They become very personalized, and also the second that they start moving, like that personalization jumps up 3 levels. We really like to give personalities to our systems, and once it starts moving and you're driving it around and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, we created that. We have feelings about it.
The club is full of moving parts, including coders, builders, and more. Ashley, one of the many members, works on everyone's favorite piece, the big red button. She said as a woman in her field, she used to feel like an imposter, but the club turned that around.
A lot of the members do want you to they pull you. They're like, yeah, ask your questions, do this or do that, let me help you. So through that process, I feel that's where my imposter syndrome kind of disintegrated. I was like, okay, you know what, this is this could be for me.
Something unifying the members is their appreciation for the hands-on experience this club and these competitions bring them.
As a coder, this is the most tangible project I've been able to be a part of. It's really cool to see oh, something worked.
The difference between what you learn in class and what you do in the real world is the class teaches you all the math, the real world presents you with a problem, the club is how you meet it, how you combine those two things together.
Now you might be wondering, how much does this kind of project cost? Each rover has a $10,000 competition limit, which might sound like a lot to you and me, but can be hit quite easily due to the parts needed to make the rover. The club told me they are mostly internally funded by support from their alumni. As the project continues to develop, we'll give you updates that are out of this world. I'll see you soon for weather. Live in San Jose, this is Madison Wilbur, Update News.
With the exposure to technology today, it is becoming increasingly common for children to be exposed to social media. But what are the effects in the youth? Our reporter Justin Ray went out to find out.
Technology today is constantly advancing, and it's only a matter of time before every child is exposed to social media. With increasing difficulty on delaying a child's exposure to social media, some parents are turning to limiting screen time and what content is viewed.
We try to have them go outside and, play and try to limit screen time. I don't think, it's a bad thing. I think, relying too heavily on it is not, I think is a bad strategy.
Social media apps like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok may contain content that is attractive for young children but lacks the educational substance. One of the most common terms associated with some of the content displayed on social media is brain rot, which many fear could impact the children negatively.
I don't know if brain rot is the right term, but definitely it's surface level connections in the brain that's happening.
Many parents rely on social media as a form of entertainment for their children to keep them busy. However, Fraser believes that constant distractions are not necessary.
It's okay for your child to be bored. Let your children be bored. Amazing things happen when you let children be bored.
Experts believe that setting boundaries in earlier stages of a child's life could provide a much smoother transition to the digital world.
When you develop routines, the kids kind of get oriented to your routine. And so the more you can have routines where they kind of expect transitions, the distraction is less necessary.
Many parents and experts stress the importance of unplugging and spending quality time in places just like this. In San Jose, I'm Justin Ray, Update News.
It was just starting to heat up. I was hoping it would stick around.
Well, we can't always get what we wish for. Let's turn over to Madison for this week's weather forecast.
Hi, I'm Madison Wilbur, and this is your weather forecast. After a midweek warm-up that will probably make you think spring has arrived early, some changes are ahead for the weekend that are expected to bring rain chances and severe snow to the region once again, although rain totals don't appear too extreme. The most rain we will see this week will likely arrive midway through next weekend. Highest totals will likely be along the North Bay Mountains and the Santa Cruz Mountains. We will be watching for increasing clouds and rain chances later this week. The first storm dives south into Southern California on Thursday, then the follow-up storm is the one that we're watching into next weekend. Right now, we are looking through midday Saturday and through the day on Sunday. We will see those rain chances. 7-day forecasts show the warm temps to start the week. Starting in Santa Cruz, you'll see that we go 63, 60, going all the way down to 57 and 59. Over into Oakland, we're going to see similar kind of temperatures. So we got 61 to 59 into 60. This is going to be seen throughout the bay. We're getting rain this weekend. I'm sorry, folks. In San Francisco, we got 63, 62, 60. And then we're going to come all the way over to San Jose, where it's actually going to start in the mid-70s, as you can see here. And then it's going to jump down to 67, 65, and 63. So not quite as low as the rest, but we're still going to see those rains. So grab your umbrella, folks. That's your Weather Day forecast. Back to the desk.
Stay tuned for more.
Learn how the Black Leadership and Opportunity Center at San Jose State is recognizing Black History Month coming up.
A lot is happening in sports. Make sure to stay tuned to Spartan Sports Central coming up.
This week on Update Eats, an immigrant-owned bakery in downtown San Jose. Stay tuned.
The Black Leadership and Opportunity Center at San Jose State University has held multiple events as part of Black History Month. A movie event earlier this week was one that stood out. Reporter Larry Larkin has the story.
The Black Leadership and Opportunity Center, also known as the Block, at San Jose State University is hosting a series of events for Black History Month. One of those events is a movie night that took place Tuesday night at the Student Union Theater.
The Block partnered with Student Involvement and the Student Union to host a screening of Princess and the Frog. The movie was chosen as part of a theme.
The theme for this year's Black History Month is African Americans and Labor and Liberation. Based on how the movie goes, the students chose Princess and the Frog. A person I spoke to at the event who worked with the Block gave me her thoughts on whether SJSU has done enough for Black History Month.
They've done just about enough. They could always do more, but for the progress that we're making towards the future, they're doing a fine job.
I also spoke to the program coordinator for the Block about it.
Here at the Black Leadership and Opportunity Center, I think that a really great job is done of celebrating Black History Month, as well as our campus partners.
Every year, the Block uses a specific format to determine the theme of Black History Month.
The Black History Month theme that's here at San Jose State University is always in alignment with the Association for the Study of African American Life and History.
The Block this year, in collaboration with its partners, has 11 events. It also has exhibitions hosted in the Martin Luther King Jr. Library. At San Jose State, Larry Larkin, Update News.
The San Jose Earthquakes opened their season on Saturday at PayPal Stadium with their first game of the season to showcase their hard work throughout the offseason and put on a show for the people of San Jose. But after last season's performance, will their fans stay hopeful for a better season with new changes to the team? Our reporter Ivor Moreno has more.
The San Jose Earthquakes look forward to a fresh new start to this season. With last season, the Earthquakes winning 6 and losing 25 of their total games. Players and fans alike are hopeful for a better season.
Hopefully they have a better season than last year, you know. We got a new coach, new everything, so
last season really doesn't matter anymore because everyone's still 0-0 now. So
New additions to the team, such as head coach Bruce Arena and new players like Joseph Martinez and SJSU's very own Polo Rowe, give the fans bigger expectations for this season.
We expect McLima to drop like 50 goals.
Yeah, we expect brilliance. They've showed resilience throughout the last season, and we should hope that they can continue to get better.
With soccer's worldwide popularity, the Earthquakes have some faithful fans lined up to attend their games and hope to see some wins this season.
I expect them to do better than last season and just, give off good energy to the fans that come out. And, yeah, just a good time for everyone and better than last season.
During tonight's game, many believe the Earthquakes showed improvement and believe this is the start of something new. As the Earthquakes prepare to face Real Salt Lake, fans will see if the new changes on the team turns them around. In San Jose, I'm Moreno, Update News.
Mo is live at the big board with this week's Spartan Sports Central.
Welcome back to Spartan Sports Central with myself, Mohammed Najimi. Let's attempt to score an ace as we serve it into the first sport, women's tennis. The Spartans' record stands at 6-1 with the only loss against Cal Poly back on February 16th. They won their last game on Saturday against CSU Northridge 4-2. The team heads into the next week with 3 games at Santa Clara University on Friday at 11, at home against Fullerton on Sunday at 11, and at home again against Boston College on Wednesday at 12. We switch to track and field. They have a Mountain West Indoor Championship upcoming from Thursday to Saturday. It's happening in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The events span from heptathlon, weight throws, hurdles, long jumps, and more. Time to dive into women's water polo. The Spartans are 11-6 for the season. They dominated Cal State Monterey Bay 22-8 in their last match. They're heading into Saturday's game against Cal Berkeley at 11 on Saturday to avenge their 17-6 defeat on February 8th in the Aggie Invite. Now, we have come to the Spartan Showcase, the sport of the week to watch for. It's the women's basketball team. Their 82-60 loss to San Diego State back on Saturday marked their 3rd loss in a row. They have 2 upcoming games scheduled against the top 2 teams in the Mountain West Conference. First on Saturday at 2 against the number 1 seed UNLV, and on Tuesday at 6 against the number 2 seed Colorado State. The Mountain West tournament is coming up fast. It's happening next weekend, starting on March 9th. If the season ended today, the women would be the 10th seed going into the tournament. They'd face number 7 seed Air Force on March 9th for a chance to face number 2 seed Colorado State in the quarterfinals on March 10th. This just in, the women's lost and remain the 10th seed going into this weekend. And that has been your Spartan Sports Central with Mohammed Najimi. Tune in next week. Back to the desk.
Reporter Justin Ray has another episode of Update Eats for us. Take it away, Justin.
This week on Update Eats, we take you to K&J Bakery, located on 3rd and San Carlos Street. Let's go see what they got. K&J Bakery is owned and operated by Elvira Armenta, an immigrant from Mexico who struggled to overcome the language barrier. Elvira opened her bakery location almost 2 years ago, but ultimately started her business selling cakes right out of her garage. She says that she is proud of her work and holds her bakery near to her heart. One of her biggest goals is that she wants all of her customers to love what she does, along with embracing some of her traditions. The most popular dishes here at K&J Bakery are the cakes and the empanadas, but her favorite is her tres leches cakes. Her cakes and pastries have all sorts of recipes, but one secret ingredient remains consistent.
My secret is love. I make everything love.
That wraps up this week's edition of Update Eats, and be sure to tune in next week to see what's cooking.
And that's a wrap on this week's edition of Update News.
Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to follow us on all our socials. We'll see you next week.